Camille, you've been holding salons at your Soho loft for the past 23 years. And salons are sometimes associated with the Harlem Renaissance. Was that your inspiration?
I maybe indirectly it was, but I think it was sort of a continuation of the things we did in the 70s, where we had a lot of programs on our loft at 54 East 11th Street before we started Hatch-Billops. By the way, down the street, we didn't realize that this little child was walking up and down the street. Later became Vin Diesel.
So who comes and what do you do?
We have people who are interested in that particular artist. The artist always invites their friends. We do mix it up with painters, sculptors, dancers, old people, young people. We also interview people who are not non-black, who have had some significant relationship with the field. So that has been also an additional enrichment, I think, for our program.
You're doing these still recently?
Every Sunday for the rest of the month.
So what are the hot topics these days?
Usually biographical material of the artist talking about their life. We just finished one who was a printer for a printmaking workshop, Brandywine in Philadelphia, and he's the printer of the prints. So I thought he was an important element in that activity.
And people, James, can come from the general public and see things from the collection?
Yes, it's open admission. We never charge. And you have to come, please, on time, because if we are interviewing, we record, and then we've got a doorbell that announces like it's the opening of Ben-Hur. So it's from 2 to 4 on Sundays.
When you say come on time, it's by appointment, or people just can come in that 2-hour window?
Within before we start.
2 to 4 on Sundays. To see some of these books. I guess they can listen to some of the oral histories?
Yes, and we get appointments during the week of a lot of scholars, particularly PhDs, who want to research.
Are they really on reel-to-reel tape?
They're 5-inch reels. Fortunately, good old German tape.
You're going to digitize them?
Yes, we've already done half of it.
Oh, good. So this loft in Soho, I read that you bought it sight unseen for $11,000 in 1975, yes?
Yes, we did, because the current tenants wouldn't let us in. And so that we bought it, and then later when they decided to move, then we moved in. This was also an artist loft started by those Fluxus artists, people like Jonas Mekas and all of those people.
And Fluxus sold it to you?
Yes, Jonas lived on the 6th floor, so we were all there, but now he's divorced and gone. But he was there. I wanted to add here is one of the products from our activities was I did a project with James Vanderzee, and we published a book called The Harlem Book of the Dead. And it's with the poetry of Owen Dotson, and Toni Morrison wrote the introduction. So I brought it here, and this is what it looks like.
There it is,
yes.
And I can see it, and we're getting a shot of it with our webmaster, Amy Pearl, in the studio here, and that will be up on our website later on. That book is for sale?
Well, it's out of print.
Oh, it is?
1978.
Aha. Yes. Geez, you could
you
sell
can
that.
find it online, maybe. I think a hardback online is around $500.
$500,
yeah.
Real collector's item.
Yeah.
You could take your $3 million out of that loft and go retire anywhere you want.
Where are you going?
I don't know. You'd rather live in Lower Manhattan and live your lives.
Right.
That's a good thing. You asked us to go out on Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. Talk about the significance of that piece of music.
Well, that's a piece of music that comes from the past, and I so loved him, even though he had a tragic ending. And I listened to it all the time in my studio, and I thought it sort of transcended time. And it's sort of like us. What's going on?
Camille Billops and James Hatch from the Hatch-Billops Collection, and it is still available to be seen between 2 and 4 on Sundays at
491 Broadway, 7th floor, corner of Broome and Broadway.
And now they've been inducted into City Lore's People's Hall of Fame. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
so you can see. Oh,